Hey guys, welcome back. In this video, I'll be talking about a company called eMudhra. And before we go ahead and discuss about their Q1 update, whatever their business updates were or performance was, I want to first focus on what this business does so that you can understand the entire ecosystem where this eMudhra experience and the business revenue comes through. And further, it will be easy for us to track this company and know more about this company in detail. So as we go ahead, before we get into basically the performance, I'll be focusing on what this business does. So you might have heard about e-governance, and you might have also equally experienced about through this, like basically while doing KYC or doing a digital signature for any government related documentation, or even in your day-to-day private experiences. Also, you might have also done doing an e-signature, and you might have heard products like DocuSigns and all. So now eMudhra is one of that company which is listed in India, and what they do is they bring that digital signature experience. They started with this, and now they have scaled to a lot of other ecosystem in this whole journey. And so basically, if I share what they actually do is, when a government require any KYC or any digital signature, or a lot of eSIM related journey, like for authentication, e-visa you have heard about. So all these things are today the entire technology which is required behind to process these documentation thing and to authenticate these things. eMudhra plays a very important role here. And as our nation has moved into a lot of services into e-governance or like a digital services, you have I'm sure you have gone through those KYC processes or e-signing. And today a lot of companies, when they file their business updates to government, or like revenue filing or taxation, or giving a company updates to government, they go through like while they file all these things, there is an important role of again putting a digital signature. And you might have also heard about this quite many times, and eMudhra plays a very important role here. They bring that technology where this whole thing can be managed, this whole thing can be used. And eMudhra plays an important role for a lot of government companies there, and eMudhra have a direct client with government. So recently they've actually scaled into, so apart from India, their business is also focused in a lot of other countries like Middle East, and then Sri Lanka, Nepal, and they are trying to expand towards Europe, then also US. They do have a small chunk in the US and Europe, but now they want to go aggressive and focus there, because they feel that, and they are very confident that that area is something which is less touched upon. And the kind of business proportion they bring in, like basically from a pricing model, from the technology model, they feel they are very strong in this ecosystem, and they can take over the market share in this region. Now, further, if I explain you what they also do is, like if you have gone through any logging related authentication, like suppose when you sign in on your work desk, you might, there are processes where you put your email address or a username, and then you add a password, and then there are some authentication, like through your mobile there is a key shared, or there's a fingerprint authentication. There are different ways of authentication, right? So eMudhra also provide that service, and also like a product to a lot of companies, and a lot of government related companies actually have been using it. And in India, when any government want to use such services or they want such technology, they prefer an Indian company more than a company which is offshore. And the reason is they feel they are protected with the data. They feel their data is secure overall, and the pricing is also something which is very important. They feel these companies, like Indian companies, does is they bring a very competitive pricing compared to any companies which is from any other part of the world, right? So eMudhra plays a very important role. They have scaled their business. They have been performing really well. As I now talk about, their market share is around 5,700 CR, which is a good number. A small company, but one of the product company actually listed in India. Most of the when you hear about tech companies, you will hear about mostly IT service companies, but eMudhra brings a very different product offering in the ecosystem, and that is what they do. Apart from that, a lot of payment related authentication which happens, or they have also mentioned about e-stamping, private key, certificate related, which is very important. I was talking to a few people who are into data protection, cyber security, who are into such ecosystem. They were talking about something about that every now, as the data security has become such important thing for every company. So to protect the data, they need a lot of certification for that, and these certification are not just like once you take it and it's done. You have to continuously renew, because you need to update your technology, you have to update your entire data protection continuously, and to do that, the certification is required, that is, which is very important. So eMudhra also provide that, which is also something their business is trying to scale. Apart from this, one more thing which I've also read about is, like, while you process, suppose you're filing, you're signing an agreement, and there are sales agreement, there are a lot of procurement related agreement, agreement between two parties, or contract. All these also are something for signature related, for authentication. Also, eMudhra provides those services and product. And one more thing, what eMudhra was talking about is, like, if suppose today, to read a document, to read an agreement, it takes a lot of time, right? And you cannot actually upload those or share those document, or those contract anywhere on internet, to maybe through like taking help of an AI and summarizing those things, or finding if anything is missing or not. But they were mentioning, as people can't do that, there's a lot of security reasons behind that. eMudhra is trying to bring those AI technology into in their product, which will help in highlighting anything if there's something red flag, or to make sure there's no virus attack, or there's no spying happening on their tool, or their ecosystem, on their agreement, anything. So eMudhra provides that security. It's like a security company plus a digital signature authentication company. That is how you can see this company, which helps in cyber security related and digital signature related. They recently also acquired two companies. One is Cryptus, which is in Austria. The reason to acquire this is, so first thing is, Cryptus is a company who focus on a lot of cryptocurrency related authentication. Cryptos, you might have, I'm sure you might know about that. When you purchase crypto, or you do any business with related to crypto, there's a lot of authentication which is required to sign in, not only the login and password, but apart from that, to use a entire blockchain ecosystem, there's lot of authentication in multiple stages and process. And Cryptus is focused into that, which is Austria-based company, and eMudhra has acquired that. The also one business agenda, what they are strategy is to scale in Europe, because when a company who is already established in Europe, it is easy to scale in those regions. So that was one reason. And in Europe, they were mentioning, in Europe there's a lot of rules and regulations and guidelines to be followed before you bring any software in the market. And as a company like Cryptas is already there, it will be easy for them to scale and offer their services without much blocker. And they will be, it will be not like a first step in the region, but also will be like Cryptas customer will be easy to be acquired, because now Cryptas is their now own company. Apart from this, in US they have acquired something called a company called AI Cyberforge. Again, what they do is, again, similarly creating security related products and in the AI world. So this is also going to be a very important step for them to grow. They were mentioning one more thing earlier, when they were trying to scale in US. A lot of clients were not ready to like use their product and services, specifically eMudhra. And the reason was that the name is not something which is very familiar, or the wording of eMudhra sounds very not trustworthy to them. So as it's a little more Indian name, so they were mentioning that when you see a company already acquired in US, and they are trying to form another company there, I think it's called some A11 or something, what they were mentioning. I'm not getting into very specific, but yeah, the idea is to make sure if they are about to like sign in a client, there should not be any such blockers through because of a name is a company is not signing in. I'm not confident about such stories, but I feel it is still possible. Just trying to call out those things also. Like this is a few challenges which they mentioned. Currently, their business revenue comes internationally from overall 64% of their revenue comes through international, and from India, almost 36% of revenue is focused in India. Their entire product offering, as I mentioned, they offer e-signature, which is like a more paperless experience, and second thing is the security related product. So for a cyber security, the major revenue focus on cyber security product now. Earlier they started with e-signature, but currently the revenue percentage of e-signature is almost 36%, and entire cyber security is around 64%. And they are also they have mentioned this, that they are focused on to scaling cybersecurity because it's more scalable, and there is more requirement, more opportunity in the market, and that is the reason. I was also trying to do more further research into how this cybersecurity and this data protection world looks like. So this expert with whom I was talking to, so he mentioned that there are a lot of such companies who deals with cybersecurity and data protection in the ecosystem. So there's no single leader, but there are a lot of companies. Maybe we are not aware about them, but they are popular. They have a good market share. And what he was mentioning very interestingly, because so to also to why I'm talking about and why I'm also relying on his knowledge is he's already in the industry for more than 25 years. And what he has mentioned was that he was mentioning to make sure your product has all the cyber security compliance up to date. There's a lot of certification, and because there are so many players in the market, no one can actually win all alone. And for a longer run, it will be people who keep updating their technology and keep offering like a spontaneous experiences, services based on business demands. And the way the more flexible such companies are, it will be easy for them to acquire more and more market share. So something which also something which I felt, yeah, this is something interesting to know, that how this competitive market is, because no one has no one is a single leader, and as this is something very new still in the ecosystem, everyone is trying to acquire and everyone is trying to scale. So it can be a very good opportunity for eMudhra also. Now, apart from this, I want to also touch upon one more thing which they mentioned, that is their current year. Sorry. So current year, Q4FY26 till 26, basically whole year revenue target is around 700 CR, and they feel that they are confident about, and which is also a very good guidance from them. And if we keep tracking and if they are able to achieve, it is going to be very interesting for the market to reward such businesses. And that is why it is important for you to know when you are tracking a business, also understand what is their guideline, or not guideline, sorry, what is their target or a guidance, so that when we track, we try to see if they are able to achieve those guidance, and market rewards such businesses which actually does that. And apart from that, so they made a revenue of around 147 crore, which is around 59% increase from last year on the same quarter, and almost 25 CR of profit, which is almost around 37 percentage growth on year from last year. And their current margin, PAT margin, is around 17%. A tech company having a PAT margin of 17%, that too listed in India, focused on more product building instead of just offering an agency like a service, which is very, I feel such companies will has a good potential. And the current PE ratio is around 62. The time when I was reading this business, that time the P ratio was around 80. So actually, why I wanted to also share and record this is because recently the share has fallen down, and but I simply see that business is very strong. Business doesn't have any problem yet. there could be a chance that US is something difficult because of this uncertainty which is happening across. Maybe we might not get more US clients or might not able to grow, but as the companies focused on like it's a very diversified business, they feel they're most confident about scaling, and they're more confident about achieving this 700 CR of revenue by this year. And if we go through this based on their guidance, and if we calculate 1 year forward P, which is around 48, and the current P is 62. So being into a tech specific company, this is a very good number around. And we can also focus and see this because you cannot compare this with any company like Infosys or TCS. But as it is a product company, they don't have a direct competitor in India specifically, or they don't have, and they have a very huge opportunity to scale. And one interesting thing about a product company is when any other company takes or use their product and services, it is very difficult to change, and especially around e-signature or data security. These are like long-term and strong agreements which happens between companies. So it takes time to scale, but the kind of scale they are doing, almost like 50 to 60% year-on-year growth from past few years, which shows that the demand is huge, and business is ready with all the technology, and all the entire management is very strong enough to offer this. And I overall the business update was very confident, like I felt, and something to track on. I know business is not performing from a stock point of view recently, but it doesn't matter. We should always focus on how the business is doing, and if the business achieve the guidance, if business keep growing, the stock price will move according to our wishes. So that's all.